Oh, hi there, everyone. I'm going to explain working up the Illuminati food chain, climbing the ladder. Sometimes you don't have a choice. It's the circumstances surrounding you sort of guide you along a certain path. Uh, what's happened with me, well, my entire life, I'm 30 years old. I've never really comprehended the situation around me, especially in social circumstances. Um, in the last few years, it's been particularly bad where people have a certain way of talking and you can't get an answer out of them, and there's no activities outside of whatever environment it is that you're speaking to them with. Um, Part of this has to do with my social media. I created it for the purpose of expressing myself and for anyone interested in what I had to say. They could watch my videos. Uh, the thing is, someone could copy how I've gone about doing it and do it better so that they don't have to go through so much aggro and they get more rewards faster. Because I've created somewhat of a crude version of Narnia, and someone could always come along and do a better job than that. But I wouldn't recommend it. There are other ways to climb the upper echelon of society and, you know, not have to go through so much aggro. The way I did it, there was no way I was going to get off scot-free as far as any kind of like um, pain or anything like that, because I said things that went against the groove. I was going upstream, and I've said things that people don't like. People don't like the truth sometimes, and it's an unfortunate fact. Um, it cost me 6.5 years in mental health, 3.5 years with a sore throat, and very little conversation of any kind. Most of my uh, discussions have been vague, inspecific, nothing definitive. Imagine everyone around you talks that way, and they always use mechanisms to end the conversation. Whether it's just they say something and that's it, the conversation ends, or they're busy, or they're whatever. And this can be a very difficult thing to overcome. And the reason I don't recommend that people do it the way I've tried is that sure, it was difficult for me. Sure, you know the mistakes I've made, and you wouldn't make those mistakes. But the thing is, they'll get you. Um, if if you're saying things that they don't want to hear, they'll find a way to get you, and they'll up the ante if you're aware of um, the little problems that you will get when you try to become somewhat of a personality and maybe guide or influence or inform people of certain things, because people take that very seriously, especially on the internet. Um, and technically, you have to go through the proper channels to be able to talk to people. Because the first thing when internet came along is they want to disrupt communication, and they want their voice to be heard, and they keep saying it over and over again, and you can't change their minds, and it doesn't matter how well you construct your argument, they will not listen to you. and you'll get brushed away and forgotten about. That's just a fact. They're very controlling, and they keep everything simplistic. But a lot of people get into this, and they become brainwashed. Simple pictures with words on it, cryptic videos, and that sort of stuff. It influences people. It conditions them into believing exactly what the government and the establishment want you to think. It doesn't have to be that way. Some people break free and aspire to be a free thinker, like a Freemason. I mean, I'm not a Freemason, but I tell people that I am if they ask, just because it sounds cool. But as I said, it's been a hard road for me. I've suffered in silence. I try not to complain too much about my situation, but I let people know that things ain't been that great for me. They could be a lot better, and it's politics, red tape, that's preventing me from living a better life. And I've got people who don't like me, whom I've never met before, don't know what they look like, don't know anything about them. And the thing is, in the real world, if you try to make change, you try to climb the ladder, you do this or that, people aren't going to like you. Sure, you could be the nice guy, always smiling, try not to argue with people, and if you see someone being an asshole, yeah, give them their space so that they don't turn their attention onto you. But me, with the way I've been treated, I feel like being a prick. And I can be a prick. Very, very good at being a prick if I want to be. I don't have to be a prick. I don't desire to be one. But I'm never going to get anywhere in life if I don't be one. Because the way I've been talked to, the way I've been treated, the names I've been called, I was never going to have a social life if I didn't do something. If I didn't create a channel with my own content. If I didn't aspire to be something more. I just would have withered away and never achieved anything. And the powers that be wouldn't have cared, because they would have said, he's a failure, he's stupid, he deserves to live in darkness. And they also don't care because, well, there's other people who are similar to me. They can't help out everyone. And there are people with racial biases who are in positions of power. And they look at a guy like me, got a little bit of money, not bad looking, has some political views that they don't agree with. They don't care if I'm not living the highest quality of life I could be. In fact, they would like the idea to downgrade my quality of life. There are people out there that would like me to be homeless. There are people out there that would like me to be thrown in a psychiatric ward for 6 months and then be on medicine for the rest of my life. My doctor was, he said, I'm not 100% sure you should just leave mental health. I guess I could kind of understand from his position because he doesn't know everything about me. I mean, you ask me a question, I'll give you an honest answer. But they won't do that. And that video I made where I said this was the dark ages of my life, well, this is very true. I have to keep climbing that ladder. I have to keep moving forward. Because if I don't, stop thinking, stop trying, and that's it. My life will never get to where I want it to be. And okay, some of the things I say are a bit edgy, a bit unusual, peculiar. Maybe some people have never heard of them before. They've not lived the type of life I've lived. Um, they've conformed to modern day society. And if you don't conform to modern day society, you're gonna have a bad time. And I've had one for many years. And if I don't push back, it's always gonna be this way. And there are gonna be people who don't care. Because they go, well, okay, you're not in the optimal position, but there's so many other people who are in a worse position than you, and we like their opinions on the world better than yours, not because they're better opinions, but because they're more suited to the powers that be opinions, beliefs, political stance. Right now, I'm just a grunt, foot soldier for the Illuminati. I don't give orders. I don't even like giving orders. I get pushed around. I am controlled a bit like a puppet. Everything I know or think I know, somebody knows more about all of it. But the things I've explained, there are some people that will learn and benefit from my experience and knowledge. Because there's simple tricks in the world that deceive people, and a lot of people fall for this sort of stuff. And they're just these are scary times. You obviously you don't want people to get paranoid or anything like that, but they should be aware that life isn't always what it seems. Yeah, so, I'm getting there. It's just not quite been as exactly what I wanted it to be. I'm not in the position I want to be in right now, to be honest. I'm making the best of a not so great situation, but it's not fun. This sore throat, I know a lot of other people who would have gone mad at this point, like insane, because of the pain and having all the doctors ignore the problem. I haven't, because I was gently, subliminally conditioned to just accept it, to just deal with it, just to keep going forward. And I did have paranoid thoughts in the back of my head. What if it's esophageal cancer? What if it's this? What if it's that? But I was able to read in between the lines, and I figured out what it was. It hurts quite a bit, and as far as telling people person to person, I just don't get the time to explain it ever to anyone. Most people have their mechanisms to prevent them from listening, and even if I do tell them, they have a tendency to forget the next time I see them. So it can be very frustrating for someone like me. And there are a lot of people who would have just given up. Fortunately, liking Clash of the Titans, the original one, my father has given me some armor and kind of weaponry to make something to help guide me along. I've got a shield to protect me. I got a helmet to make me invisible. I got a sword, in a metaphorical sense. With my laying claim to fame segment, most people don't have that sort of thing. That helps give me a little bit of a political push, which is what I needed. My employer has been not bad, actually. I'm not mad at them at all. Although there was the former manager who sentenced me to 6.5 years of mental health. I'm not sure if he understood that exactly at the time or not, but he did it. I'm not even mad at him. Anyway, I've been able to keep my job, and now I'm in a position where I make not bad money. I was able to go in on a mortgage on a house, and all these things that happened, there are advantages and disadvantages, and that's the same for anybody. Everybody has their advantages and disadvantages. And the thing is, with the cards I have now, I can see things getting better. In fact, I'll look the other way at people who have wronged me, just for the simple fact that it would be just easier. And whatever, there's other people out there who are worse than them, and they didn't exactly mean to be so harsh with me. In a way, I don't even know what happened, but something happened. That's what I know. Even that doctor who gave me the camp roll and misled me on how to use it and made me very sick. I could tolerate his presence, but I won't ever like him, but I can tolerate his presence. And that's one of the things mental health teaches you, is to be able to sit in a room with someone you absolutely can't stand and not even be mad. There aren't many people that I feel like I dislike them that much, but what that doctor did hurt a lot, and I don't think anybody really understands that. They don't want to listen, they don't want to spend the time, and they want to ignore me because it's just easier for them. Because really what it is people are looking out for number one, and that's understandable. I'm looking out for number one as well, and that means screw you guys, I'm going home. This thing, I have no idea how big this situation's gotten. I have no idea how out of control it is or what's going on. It's a mystery to me, and it's one that's very difficult to solve because I have very little clues. I think about it constantly. I can't help it. I wouldn't have to, be so concerned about my well-being, but like I said, if I stop thinking, stop trying, I'm not going to get where I want to be. What as Starscream said, time makes things possible. I can wait. And I've waited for a long time, and I'm going to resolve these issues, and I'm going to stay the person that I am, and I'm going to be very wary of people who enter my social circle. Unfortunately, given the nature of my current situation, I cannot entirely trust anybody. It's not their fault, it's just I'm unapproachable, and there's disadvantages to that. I've obviously made a splash in the social media world, and also my social life and things like that, none of which I can prove, but because I have no definitive concrete evidence that everything around me has been constructed in such a way that I can't pinpoint anything exactly. But I know I'm in the general ballpark of what's going on with my explanation. Yeah. Anyway, it is late at night. Really ought to go to sleep. Just don't really feel like it right now. Yeah, I like to think of myself as an understanding person. Uh, I can put up with a lot. I have my beliefs, of course, which aren't really going to shake. I can tinker around, alter some opinions on things, particularly when I have conversations about history and politics. Um, I can be quite rude when it comes to conversations like that, but when it comes to person, I don't really see there being any significant issues in the future. Uh, just don't disagree with me on politics and history, because there are people out there who will say and do anything, and it may not be because they think you're a bad person. It's just because they don't like your perspective of the world. And when they say and do anything, like they're just being little pricks. They're being just like a trickster monkey type politics. It's not clever. It's just irritating. It's like green eggs and ham. They're a pest that won't go away, and it's very, very difficult to deal with people like that. Um, Another thing I wanted to mention is that I do have more photos to add to my lame claim to fame video selection. I have not added them as quickly as some people thought. I'm a very patient person. You can be a very patient person. I will gradually bring them out, because I still have a number more, and there's some interesting topics to discuss with those. So I will bring them out slowly, because that's not entirely what all my channel's about. I like to discuss a whole pile of things, and yeah, I'm just lucky that I was able to get some advantages, at least a shield, to help protect me from probably some hideous troll that doesn't like me. Some tools to help me, because if they just did what they did to me physically and turned me into a homeless person, I would be screwed for life, and nobody would care. I've had to work very hard to get to where I am, and a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people don't even want to think about it, because they only care about themselves, like I said, which is fine, but it does mean that in the future, if it's a question of their financial well-being, or what they want, and if what they want is for me not to progress, not to get anywhere, because it'll inconvenience them, even if they like me because of that, unfortunately, I will have to shaft them. It's just the obvious logical choice. I wouldn't take any pleasure in doing that. I wouldn't go out of my way to do that. But if it's a question of either they're shafting me or I'm shafting them, it's a no-brainer. I don't want to be shafted. I've already been shafted for at least the last 6.5 years at mental health because of other people. And if those people aren't going to be reasonable with me, then I'm going to have to shaft them. It's as simple as that. not a curly-headed Hebe who enjoys doing that to people. I take no pleasure in it at all. But I have to. I have to make things better. And as soon as I figure a way out of this cage and have a normal life, that would be a good thing. Anyway, probably gonna go to sleep. So anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.